Hello and welcome to our podcast Udyamini Speaks, a podcast where we celebrate the journeys, the challenges, the struggles and the triumphs of rural women entrepreneurs in the states of Assam and Meghalaya. I'm Sangeeta Bhattacharjee, and today we are about to discuss a very significant topic, namely the access to credit and finance by rural women entrepreneurs. And to explore this topic, we are honored to have with us Mr. Pranjal Konwar, a respected leader in the startup world of Northeast India. He's the Chief Operating Officer at IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, and his work has definitely had a very deep impact in the region's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Now, Mr. Konwar is a Fulbright Distinguished Humphrey Fellow from Harvard, and he has been helping the startups grow in this region since 2018, connecting them with the markets, with the mentors, the investors, and he has also supported the state governments in creating stronger and more supportive networks for these entrepreneurs. His experience, both global and local, I believe, gives him an edge when it comes to understanding the actual needs of the entrepreneurs. Now, just a few words about Udyamini, the program, before we start our discussion with Mr. Konwar. This episode is brought to you by Udyamini, a collective of 5 value chains that supports rural women entrepreneurs working in areas like farming, weaving, handicrafts, tea, small businesses, and even new areas like solar energy in Assam and West Bengal. Udyamini's goal is to build a very strong network of digitally empowered women. Women who are not just lifting up their lives, but lifting each other up, and in the process, even building up their communities. So, at the very outset, I'd like to welcome our distinguished guest here in today's podcast, Mr. Pranjal Konwar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How
so
are
much.
you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much.
So, yes, as I already said, that our discussion is going to be about access of credit and finance as far as rural women are concerned. Now, you have had this vast experience of working with these rural women, I believe in Assam and West Bengal, and even in other regions to some extent.
Yeah.
And what I want to know is that when it comes to accessing credit, when it comes to financial help for these women, what are the challenges that they are facing?
Well, at the outset, the biggest challenge is that, women entrepreneurs in the region have not majority, almost 90% of them do not have a formal organization. They have never registered their organization. That becomes the first bottleneck. Second is that they have, majority of them never keeps record about their financial, whether it is their profitability, credit, anything to do that, and hence they do not know how big their business is and what is the potential of that business, right? Now, and that leads to the next part, which is one of the most essential aspect of a formal funding mechanism, access to formal funding mechanism, that is bookkeeping. Now, when all these are not there, obviously the bookkeeping, they have never done bookkeeping, and these 2-3 factors together make it very difficult for them to get financial funding support from banks and other financial institutions. So that is at the at the base of the pyramid, which needs to be tackled in terms of helping them to access fund to expand their business.
Right. So we understand that traditional banks still happen to be the main sources of credit for women, for all in fact, and for women in particular. Now, what we would like to understand here is that, is there some kind of a gender bias when it comes to loan disbursement? And how exactly are these, since you have been working at the ground level, how exactly are these women treated once they approach the banks? And considering the fact that sometimes there might be some sort of a gender bias, is there any accountability as far as banks are concerned regarding such treatment, if at all these have been experienced?
So these are multi-layered issues. There are multi-layered issues to this. Of course, the banks and the other financial institutions will never come out in open and say that there is a bias. But when you start dealing with these entrepreneurs and start trying to help them, you realize that the majority of these entrepreneurs have a partner and who would be a male member of the family, and who would not be doing anything. His name would just be there as one of the partners, right? Now, why was that at all needed? And I think it is to address this underlying aspect that when they go to a financial institution for seeking loan or financial aid or help, these are the people who would be fronted, right? So I think it is not pronounced, but that bias is there. To compound this, banks have people who want to, at the very onset would like to secure themselves, right? They want to insulate themselves from forthcoming problems or issues that might crop up out of non-commitment to returning the loan that has been taken,
right.
And hence they would want to play by the book. They do not want to take risks on their on their self, right? And that's why it becomes that much rigid. The flexibility goes away. I think these are issues which are inherent in the system, but despite that, somewhere you would find a bank manager or someone in the bank, a person in the bank who is forthcoming, who wants to help, who is willing to take onto himself that much of risk to go ahead and help someone, believing in what that lady is doing or that woman is doing, and supporting her in different ways in terms of how to ensure that she makes money and in turn is able to return the loan. So
Correct.
These are extra efforts that some people take, but not many and not always, right? Because these people come for a tenure. They would be there for 2 years, 3 years, and then move on, right? So that level of deep engagement is rarely seen.
Right. So what I understand here is that there is some lacunae when it comes to financial literacy, maybe financial planning, as far as the rural women are concerned as well, to a very great extent, I believe. So is there something, firstly, though, that can be done? Is there something that is being done? If you could tell us a bit about that.
Of course. See, first of all, there is a huge notion that if you become a formal organization and go out seeking loan and other financial help from formal organization, you get entangled with a lot of difficulties which might end up creating a lot of problem for you, and you being woman, how do you fend yourself out of these problems. So these notions are there, which are blockades which needs to be broken through systematic engagement, as well as connecting them with people who have done it, so that there is a realization that others have done it, so I can do it. There are people to support me. All of these go hand in hand, right? So what we have done, we had run a program with National Rural Livelihood Mission in 3 states under the NRETP program, which is National Rural Transformation program, entrepreneurship transformation program, and there in 3 states, West Bengal, Bihar and Assam, we handholded 150 women entrepreneurs each, totaling to 450, and got them through extensive engagement, got them onto the formal fold of of doing business, got them registered, got them funded, helped them scale their business, increase their market and all of that. The target was to increase their turnover. They came with some bit of turnover to increase by about 15%, but in about a year and a half's time that we had engaged with them, on an average over 46% of revenue increase was seen. Something surprisingly happened was that as we ended the program, we realized that this journey had created 62 crorepati didis.
Okay.
So it is possible.
Wonderful.
So this entire thing was an experiment through which we proved that there lies possibility in our rural women folks in their ability to create scalable, sustainable, large businesses out of the places, out of the geographies where they are situated, where they live, right? So they don't have to go out. They can create those kind of impact wherever they are. Right. So it has been a learning not only for us, but for the entire nation. Now we are trying to roll this out across the country through partnership with different states.
Right. That's a tremendous success story, I believe, you have going on out there. Coming on to my next question, we do talk of microfinance institutions, MFIs, which are supposed to be doing good work as far as the rural areas are concerned. But when it comes to the ground level, we do hear mixed stories as well. I mean, in some cases they have been benefited, but somewhere it has not been working that well. So what do you think is happening in this sector? I mean, is it riskier? Is it better than traditional sources of credit? Where exactly do microfinance institutions or microfinance stands right now?
Okay. Now, first of all, the interest rates are extremely high. Mm-hmm. It's between 15 to 20%. So, if someone is into something non-seasonal and wants to create a business which is a year-long business and wants to scale it to a larger business, this doesn't help, because A, the interest rates are high, B, the amount that they get out of this money, out of this this kind of programs, microfinance, is very little for any impact that they can can be created, right? Mm-hmm. So they need to go and get this money to scale from a formal institution, mm-hmm. right? So maybe if you are starting off and doing something with livestock and small stuff, then mm-hmm. microfinance is the source, mm-hmm. and microfinance has shown that it can create impact at that level. Mm-hmm. But when we are talking about creating Udyaminis out of rural women folks, right. But I think you need something much more bigger and beyond.
So they're falling short, you say. Yeah. Okay. And if I can ask you if there is any specific success story when it comes to microfinance, and maybe some small businesses like livestock and stuff that you said from Assam and West Bengal, can you share some?
Oh, we have many actually. If I talk about, I don't remember the names because the program manager was different. So right. Being the chief operating officer, I have an overview. I have an helicopter view, and I engage from time to time. But right. the program managers are the one who actually drives the program. But I can take examples of a few without naming the entrepreneurs, of course. So we have we were working with this lady somewhere near Nagaon, where we realized when we had to reach her, mm-hmm. Beyond a point you cannot go and go to her place. You have to there is a track which is a cycle track, so you have mm-hmm. to walk. Mm-hmm. Maybe about a few kilometers you have to walk down, mm-hmm. and she makes these bhujias, okay. right, which she sells in the village stores and the fairs and all of that. Mm-hmm. You can't believe, after completing this program today, she is doing about 15 lakh rupees a week, and this is in Assam.
Okay, wonderful.
15 lakh of revenue a week mm-hmm. out of a village in Assam selling bhujias, right? So which means mm-hmm. it is possible.
Definitely.
So there are many such cases. There is someone who is making this ice creams in a small suburban place, which is a village, which is near a town, but is still a village, mm-hmm. and doing exceptional business because there is no other option as well as at that price point. So mm-hmm. she's got a market. She's created a market. There is another lady near Samuguri who was selling this pita and all. They have got mm-hmm. into extending her business and started doing growing tea mm-hmm. in her backyard, and then got other women to do that, and collectively she's packaging and selling it outside. We've connected her with Reliance, we've connected her with Amazon on all of that. Wonderful. And these people have come and helped her in terms of marketing and market connects and all of that, and then she's doing fantastic business out there.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So there are many such stories, and if I start off, this entire episode will go on talking about these stories. Yes, so yes. There are many such stories.
Yes, we will, I'm sure, have an exclusive episode based on these success stories. But if I can just understand one more thing regarding this, that all these development programs that you're talking of, financial literacy is a part of those programs. Of course. They are guided.
Yeah. So how we do is that we look at it from a perspective that, if I have to scale a business, if I'm doing say 5 lakh and I want to increase my business 5 lakh annually, so if I have to increase it say to 15, 20 in about a year, then what are the things needed to help me do that? So there will be aspects from the financial side, there will be aspects from the business side, right? So we bring in all of that, and we are talking about trying to get women folks who are not youngsters, who have children, who have family to take care, and in-laws and all of that, because they stay in villages in rural setup. So the challenges, the societal challenges are different. So to get them into classrooms, train them, and then ensure that whatever they've learned, they kind of implement in their work, so that they can see result. It's not easy. We had to use different types of techniques and experimentation to come up with a model that works. We had used principles of adult education, which is not by reading but by seeing, and which is visual and hearing and all of that, right? So we identified successful SEG members from across these 3 states. Someone who's relatable, created videos, cartoons, and those kind of thing out of that, where this SEG lady, who's a successful lady, is guiding other SEG members to scale. So it was relatable. There are sessions where people in the middle of the sessions started crying and saying that that's me. I could see myself. So it was very emotional. And that is the relatability that we try to bring into these programs, which has made this program very successful, and thereby the results.
Wonderful, wonderful. Moving on to my next question, we know that the government has or keeps launching different schemes for the women entrepreneurs from time to time. What I want to understand again here is that what about the reach of these schemes? Do they really reach the concerned people? And what about the awareness as far as the rural women are concerned? And also the implementation part. Are these really implemented at ground level and people really benefited out of it?
Well, of course, many programs run, and each of these programs have their own bit of success and failures. I am not the right person to comment on anyone else's program. I can talk about what we did and how we did it differently. We tried to, before starting the program, we started engaging with our stakeholders, whether they be people from the government who was giving us a project, people from World Bank, people at the grassroots who would be the beneficiaries, and try to understand what are the challenges, what are the gaps, and many of these beneficiaries had already attended many programs, so they came saying that this is another program, right? So how do we break that barrier and say that, no, this is not another program, this is going to create real-time impact, right? We spoke with them, we tried to figure out what are the how was the program designed, what are the gaps, how has it helped, where did it not help, and all of that, and then took those inputs in terms of designing the program for them, which was fairly customized. It was not one program for everyone. It was customized for that particular group, to which it was highly relatable, highly executionable, because we wanted them to it was not. We did not do the program. We did not do these boot camps and left them with something that they needed to do. The boot camps were followed on by mentors. All of these 450 women entrepreneurs had one mentor assigned to them, and they would these mentors would handhold them over this period of
through the practical process,
the entire period, right? So after the program, when they are to implement the learning, these mentors would come back and say that kya kiya aapne, what have you done, what are the challenges you are facing in terms of implementing these learnings, right? And can you try these ways, right? So that, and many of these mentors also helped in connecting these women entrepreneurs to different markets, because these mentors came from across the country from various corporates. We also had local mentors as well. So it was a blend of different kind of mentors, right? So I think more than the capacity building, the mentorship and the market connect that we gave made the entire program so holistic, and which resulted in the kind of impact that it has created.
Correct. And I think the feedback also helped them, because it helped you upgrade and upskill them accordingly. So yeah, definitely marvelous work out there. If I can talk about Udyamini now. Now, what Udyamini is doing is that we're working across multiple value chains. And as I said, I mentioned the factors of agriculture, horticulture, handloom. So how do you think this integrated approach helps the rural women entrepreneurs? Does it actually help them? And of course, I would like to add another question with that Udyamini is already working as a support group, but if we can talk of converting this or taking it to the next level and making it sort of a launch pad for our women entrepreneurs, as in helping them gain more visibility, helping them gain market access, and then also becoming more confident as entrepreneurs. What do you think needs to be done after this?
Okay. So I will not be able to comment on the Udyamini program as such because I have not been directly involved in this program. But how I see this happening, and creating impact, lasting impact, is that you have different aspects in the value chain, right? So how are you integrating each, right? That has to be meaningful, and each needs to lead to the next. It should not be in isolation, right? That is the important aspect. Now, when I say that, it need not necessarily only mean from the inputs given, whether it is financial literacy or business or mentoring and all of that, but also the different type of sectors, right? So, by which I mean, say, there is sericulture and there is handicraft and handloom.
Okay.
Fairly good match. These people will create, what you call the fibers and the threads and all of that, and the handicraft handloom will use it. So that's these interlinkages. Similarly, with agriculture and food processing, someone creates does the farming, harvesting and all of that. Someone does the food processing, someone does the selling and marketing. So these integrations are important, and that is what we did. What we did in our program, which made a difference, was that anyway we were working in the space of startups. So we created, and these women entrepreneurs who were creating products, handicraft, handloom, food process, pickle, jams, they were into food processing. So we made them the downline for the startups who were anyway selling this kind of products. So we married them together. So suddenly, a large market was created for them. Right. So they did not go out of where they were in search of market. They only needed to produce. They were producing, and they were someone in Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Guwahati, etc., who came to them to source the product. Right. So that really helped.
Correct.
That really helped, and it suddenly kind of created an impact wherein suddenly they became very big. There was an instance once we were doing a boot camp. It was in the midst of the program. This lady is from Dhemaji. She is into weaving. Okay. So she came in a Innova. So she said, "Sir, this is my new car, suggested by my son. I have not taken loan. Innova is a very expensive car. I bought it out of my money in the bank."
Okay.
She does she does few crores of business today. Okay. She's into weaving.
Oh,
right. So this is the kind of and the
based in Dhemaji.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So how that happened was also because of these multiple linkages that happen. So you have to think how to make this entire thing, a big spinning wheel where all the cogs are connected, interlinked, and it ends in creating that kind of impact. You have to be very sure what is the impact that you want to create. How are you going? What do you have as the cogs in the entire program, and how you need to interlink them so as to create that impact that you seek. The impact could be from the program perspective, from an individual perspective, both.
Right, absolutely. If I can move on to my next question now. We now do talk of crowdfunding, we do talk of digital lending, and what I want to know from you here is that are rural women in this loop, or because of digital barriers, because of network issues, are they completely left out of it? If yes, then what needs to be done? What is the next step?
Okay. First of all, crowdfunding itself is not legal in the country. However, at a very informal level that's happening, but I don't think formally it is allowed. That is what I knew about it. If there is any change in legalities, I am not aware. So we just move crowdfunding away, and then we come to the digital lending, which is happening. But then, from a digital, majority of the digital lending are happening in the urban sectors. I know that there are a lot of these agri-tech companies who are trying to get this digital lending facilities to the rural areas, but I am not very sure whether it is but it is mostly around agriculture. That's what I know. But if you ask me, these 450 women entrepreneurs that we had worked with, I don't think they have been touched by this as this kind of initiatives. Of course, it's a huge opportunity.
True.
But how comfortable people who are running this kind of business is also something to be seen, because at the end of the day, startups run out of someone else's money. So so there are a lot of dynamics there.
Right.
So I'm not very sure when it will come, how it will come, in what form, shape it will come. But yes, that's an opportunity. People are thinking about it. People are working around it. I know of someone out of Bangalore who's been working on this for about a year and a half. I'm not sure whether it's launched or not, and how it will be launched. These are early days to talk about. While yes, for agri it is there, but I'm not sure whether how. To what depth it has gone. By depth I mean or width rather. How wide has the impact been in terms of the sectors and the industries that it has touched.
Correct. And the preparedness as far as the rural women are concerned, that also will have to be considered.
Of course, because they may not be comfortable, because coming into the formal fold itself was a big challenge and a big barrier for them to break and realize the benefit, right? So that was the first step. Now to maybe after that, getting into digital lending and all of that would take some time, but I think it will subsequently happen.
Correct. There was a lot of insight, and I think I'll just round off with one final question. That we do know that the women-led businesses, and especially in the rural sectors, they have, I believe it is the concept as of contemporary, that they are seen as risks. They are seen as risks by lenders and by investors. So what I want to know from you is that how can we improve this scenario, and how can we improve the reliability, visibility, and everything concerned with rural women entrepreneurs?
Okay. If I try to pull experience out of the startup domain, we have seen that in Northeast India, almost close to 35% of the startups or enterprises, in many places we don't even call them startups because they are very traditional, and we call them enterprises, are led by women. Right. So I think it's also about the social acceptance norms, the social build-up of the region. I'm not very sure, if how that implies in the rural sector. Maybe that some bit of bias would exist in the rural sector, especially in states like Assam and non-tribal states. But I think it will wane off subsequently as people see more women coming forward and being successful, especially after the program that we ran, and many of them got bank loans.
Sure.
Right, because of the initiative and the outcome, right? So I think the reservation comes from the fact that not many cases of success are there to be looked at or benchmarked by the banks or any formal lending organization or people in the ecosystem. I think that's where the reservation comes, and also about our mindset, which has something to do with our past, which was a little bit feudal in nature, wherein women are supposed to be inside the house, men are supposed to be outside the house. I think in some geography that will be there. I'm not sure. I may not be the right person to tell you how and when it will go, but that those biases to some extent will be there. But I think the more success stories come out of successful women entrepreneurs,
Yes.
the reluctance will wane off that faster.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, actions speak louder than words. So
Yeah.
once we get those stories out there, and then I think the reliability factor is definitely going to improve, because these are not just dreams and enterprises for them. I mean, they are not just building their own lives, right? It is the entire family, the entire community that they take
The
along.
impact is high, very high. See, the kind of employment this program generated is humongous, is unspeakable, right? So it is not just about the woman and what is she doing, doing for her family, but it is the community at large.
Absolutely.
So I think, the more we do in this space, the less it is from today's perspective. And another thing that we saw while we did this program was the seriousness of the women entrepreneurs. It is much higher than we see in other regular programs where we have mixed groups.
Yes. So the effort is very much there. I think it is the perspective in general that has to change towards these women, because the women are really doing great work. So yeah, that does bring us to the end of the discussion, and thank you so much for all that valuable insight. And of course, dear viewers, we hope this conversation has been insightful for you as well. You have gained new perspectives, your assumptions have been challenged, and we have sparked some new ideas as far as rural women and entrepreneurship is concerned. And we just want you to remember that Udyamini is not just a program, it is a movement, and a growing network, so to say, of empowered women. And if you liked today's episode, then please do follow and share. And if you do happen to know a rural woman whose story needs sharing, whose entrepreneurial journey can be inspiring, then do get in touch with us. So until next time, I'm Sangeeta Bhattacharjee, and this is Udyamini Speaks, where voices rise and change begins. Thank you. See you soon.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.